Well, we are back at the car wash because the Rerode got absolutely filthy yesterday because I filmed a video about why I believe that this is my favorite $5,000 bike. So it's been raining all week and I haven't had a chance to be outside, but because I have YouTube obligations and I need to post a video every single week, I'm getting outside. It's sprinkling right now here in Houston. And I'm like, well, I'm just gonna have to ride in the rain. So there's this guy in my comments who was asking like, hey, what's the range on the Rerode now that you have the Sumos on there? Because, you know, the bike is heavier now. So I guess there would be like a little dip in range. That's what I'm expecting. We're gonna go ahead and do a range test. I'm gonna try to average around 25 miles an hour, do just strictly street riding. And I apologize in advance if the GoPro gets a little bit wet. Can't control that part, you guys. I do not have a front fender, and yesterday I took off the rear fender because, you know, I like the no fender look, and I am regretting that right now. Just getting sprayed. And the title of this video is not clickbait. I do truly believe there is nothing at $5,000 that would beat this for me. What made the Light Bee so special is that everyone had a different version of it, and everyone was able to make it their own. So whether you do dirt, street, enduro, whatever, you could find the brakes that work for you, the wheel set that worked for you, anything. The power setup that you needed, like you could custom make the bike to fit your needs. And there wasn't like a, oh, everyone has to have the same setup. And when I had my Light Bee, I had a $10,000 build. Like I had the forks upgraded, the battery, controller, all the accessories, brakes, like the CNC parts. I did everything that I possibly could to get that bike dialed to the point where it's like, okay, this is my bike. I love the way it feels. The thing that I love most about the Rerode, it feels like my $10,000 Surron Light Bee, but at a fraction of the cost. You guys see what I do. I rip around the city. I do some light trails. I do some wheelies. I took this thing to a mega ride. I ride with the group rides here. The range is long enough for all of that. Have you guys seen that video, that Talaria MX5 on fire? It's literally, pun intended, set the internet on fire because the Talaria people are defending it, saying, oh, well, this is just one bike. This doesn't represent all Talarias. Okay. And then you have some people, the extremists, that are like, oh, this is a hit job on Talaria. They did this on purpose. And then you have the Surron guys that are kind of like happy, low-key, that the Talaria went up in flames. And I'm just kind of in the place where it's like, when the MX5 came out, it made no difference to me. I didn't think it was going to flip anyone from Surron to Talaria. I think everyone's kind of positioned where they want to be. Like, you either are a Talaria fan or you're not. You're a Surron fan or you're not, or Eride fan. Like, it's very hard to convince people that to jump ship from one thing to the other. For me, what's most important when you're choosing a bike is getting something that you like and something that meets your needs. I just feel like some people are so quick to throw out certain stats and be like, yeah, well, this one goes this, and this one comes with this brake, and this one comes with this suspension. And people love to be like, oh, well, on paper, this one's better, so all the other ones suck. But for me, I don't look at it that way, man. I look at it like, okay, does a bike do what you want it to do? Does it meet your needs? Does it look the way that you want it to look? I mean, Talaria MX4s, MX5s, they're good bikes. I won't talk crap about them, but they're not bikes that I like the look of, and I wouldn't get one purely on looks. And lastly, geometry. If you've ever sat on a MX4 or Eride Pro or Surron or whatever, each one of these bikes is going to have a slightly different geometry. And I just think that there's more than just the spec sheets that matter. I think looks matter, feels matter, like how the bike feels. Some people buy bikes purely on popularity, like, oh, this person said that it was really good, so it must be good. Looks like the rain is clearing up. Maybe I'll wipe my camera. Wipe, where are we at? All right, wiped our camera. I'm still getting a little bit of the splash up from the road, so the GoPro might get a little bit wet. Oh, but speaking of GoPros, did you guys see that GoPro just released the GoPro 13? Not gonna lie, it looks really, really good. Like the lens options, they have an ultra wide, anamorphic, and I forgot, oh, like a macro lens, I believe, as well. And also in the action space, the DJI Osmo Action 5 Pro, dang, that's a long name, is also coming out. I saw a leak for it. And also the, what's the other one? Insta360 Ace Pro 2. So, new year, new lineup of action cams. So far, I haven't seen one that's made me want to jump from my Action 4. But you never know. I really wish I remember the name of the guy who was asking me about the range test. Because it's like, dude, this entire video is because of 1 or 2 comments from the same guy who was like, hey, what's the range? I want to update. And it's like, I wasn't going to do it, but now I'm doing it all for you, and I want to give you credit, so maybe I'll link his name right here. One thing I forgot to mention about this range test is, yes, I'm trying to keep it, you know, above 25 miles an hour, but I'm also in sport mode. So I'm not trying to sugarcoat it and baby it in eco. Since we're about to hit 50%, I'm going to stop. I'll do that bike breakdown so you guys can see what I spent on what. Let's get off the bike. Oh my God. Dude. Getting wrecked. All right. Let's turn this off. We're at 50%. Oh, no way, dude. No way. I don't know if we can see this on camera if I'm angled right. 50%. 1,000 miles exactly. We just hit 1,000 miles on the Rerode. All right, so far we've gone 19.1 miles. So that means we would go 38 miles. So I want to do a cost breakdown of the Rerode so you can see like the stats and what I put into it and all that. But before I get to that, I want to do like a blind test. I want to put other bikes on screens that would be like its competitor. And I want you to choose, without knowing the name of them, which bike would you choose based on, I don't know, weight or speed or range and all that. So first up, and I think this is going to be easy to identify, we have a 60-volt bike. Next up, we'll have 3 72-volt bikes. The weight of the 60-volt bike is 125 pounds. The weight of this 72-volt bike is 160 pounds. The next one is 130 pounds. And then the last 72-volt bike would be 139 pounds. Now, as far as top speed goes, the 60-volt goes 47. This 72 volt goes 60, one goes 55, and the other one goes 60. Now let's talk about range. The 60 volt, you might be able to squeak out 40, 45 miles on it. The 72 volt, you can get up to 50 miles on it. The next 72 volt, you can probably realistically get about 37 to 40 miles on it. And then the last 72 volt, right around 50 miles of range. Now, the prices that I want to include is the with tax included price, not shipping. I don't care if you pick the bike up locally at your local dealer, just straight up, hey, if you bought the bike with taxes, how much would it cost you? So the 60-volt bike will run you on average $4,725. The 72-volt right next to it will be $5,064. The 72-volt next to that will be $5,274. And the last 72 volt will be $5,327. And I gave you that breakdown without showing the kilowatts because I don't know if that matters to the average buyer. I think for some people, if you do a lot of off-road and motocross stuff, maybe you need the high kilowatt stuff, or maybe if you're trying to do like top speed test or something like that, then for sure you're gonna wanna push a lot of more kilowatt. I totally get it. But for the average buyer, do they really care that the Surron, which is the first one, is a 6 kilowatt bike? Or are they looking at it like, okay, I can go 40 miles, it goes 47 miles an hour. And you can see that these 72 volt bikes are kind of on par with each other. They're right around $5,000. They go at least 55 miles an hour. You're gonna get at least 40 miles of range. So you have basic information here to make a decision based on what's on paper. I want you to lock in that choice, and I don't want you to change, because now I'm going to reveal the names of each of these bikes. The first one is obviously the Light Bee. It's like the only 60 volt. I don't even know why I included it in here. I think it's just because it's part of the big three, so why not? Next over from the Light Bee is the MX5, the new MX5, the one that set on fire MX5, but they're fixing it. I saw that Luna made a statement and they're swapping out batteries. The middle 72 volt is the Rerode R1, and then the last 72 volt is the Eride Pro SS. And with all this information, you might be looking at it like, Well, why would I get the Rerode? It's the second most expensive of these when I can just get the MX5. It goes farther, it's faster, and it's cheaper. And that's a valid point. And I think if you want to do that, you should totally get the MX5. But what I forgot to mention was the $5,000, 300 and whatever price point that I just gave you for the Rerode, that includes all of the upgrades that I've done. So let's do a little quick breakdown of the cost of my bike. For the bike itself, I paid $3,500. For the wheel set, the custom Viper Motos imported from Brazil with the Pirelli tires, that cost me $970. The pegs from Pro One Performance cost me $125. The Lewis EP6 cost me $423. The Lewis LHT cost me $250. The Lewis 3mm rotor cost me $51. The prickly rotor with the 220mm spacer, that cost me $99. The Thrill Seekers cover, this cost me $106. And finally, the number plate here, that cost me 30 bucks. And if you just did the quick math, and you're probably like, wait, that's not $5,300 for the Rerode, that's $5,554. Yes, I know, but I'm gonna be transparent, don't worry. The Lewis stuff, I got a huge discount on, not only because I'm a reseller, but you could also get a discount if you talk to the right retailer. I'm not gonna tell you which ones to talk to, but go message your favorite retailer and see if they can work with you on a deal. So with the Lewis discount, I saved $160 off. So we got to minus that from the $554. And then also the hubs that I used to build these custom Sumos, those came from Dave. So let's knock off another $120. I had some help getting it down to $5,300, I'll acknowledge. But still, even at $5,554, you wouldn't be able to replicate this on any other build. You'd be spending at least another $1,000, $1,200, $1,500 to get something that looks this way, the way I like. Now, do I think that the Rerode R1 is the best bike in its class and it's better than the Talaria and it's better than the Eride Pro? No. And you'll never hear me say that. It's better for me and what I do. But for what you do, it may or may not be better. So take into consideration what kind of terrain you're going to be riding, what you need out of a bike, and make an informed decision. Alright guys, that was all that I have for you guys this week. I hope you enjoyed this week's video and the breakdown, and I will see y'all next week.